Okay, so here we have a decimal multiplication. My top tip is straight away take out those decimal points so you're left with whole number multiplication. This may already have made it easier for all of you. There are three basic methods, common methods: the grid method, the standard algorithm, or the Chinese lattice method. Let's start with the grid. The grid method needs you to partition your numbers into 974 and 49. And then you need to multiply your 40 and your 900. A lot of zeros to deal with, so cover the zeros up, cover the zero up here. 4 times 9 becomes 36, and then add 1, 2, 3 zeros back on. Same here, you could have 4 times 7 is 28, and then add 1, 2 zeros back on. 4 times 4 is 16, add the zero back on, and so on. Do that for the whole grid, and then you need to pull out these answers to the side and add them up. You need to be really, really careful to make sure these are all lined up carefully in the right columns and you've pulled out the right number of zeros. Add them all up. Remember, you're carrying. Another method is to add these two numbers, these two and these two, and then pull those three numbers out to the side. So a bit less to sort of pull out of the grid, maybe less room for error. Add those up and we do get the same number. And the last thing to do is put the decimal point back in. We had 2 decimal places in our question, 3 decimal places, sorry, in our question, 2 here and 1 here. So we must have 3 decimal places in our answer. 1, 2, 3. Decimal point therefore goes here. So that's the grid method. The next method I'll show you is the Chinese lattice method, quite popular nowadays in secondary schools. Again, take the decimal point out. This time the grid is set up slightly differently. You have your 9, 7, 4 not partitioned, just with the digits, and the 4 and 9 to be the 49. You then multiply the 4 by the 4. You get 16. 4 times 9, 36. 7 times 4, 28, and so on. And you can do these in any order, as long as you put the answers in the correct box that lines up with the question. The next part is to bring your answers for each section down the diagonal. So you've got 6 plus nothing else is 6. 6 plus 3 is 12. There's the 2. There's the 1 that's been carried from the 12. 8 plus 2 plus your 6 is 16. Plus the 1 that's been carried is 17. 8 plus 2 is 10. Plus 6 is 16. Plus the 1 you carried is 17. 3 plus the 1 you carried is 4. You then pull all those digits out and then put the decimal point back in. So 4, 7, 7, 2, 6. There you are. 3 decimal places in your question, so 3 decimal places in your answer. Finally, we've got the standard algorithm, which I was taught at school, and you set it up as 974 times 49. I've taken the decimal point out again. It's just not so easy to have it in there. And what you're doing this one, you need to know that the first row of your answer is going to be 9 times 974. So 9 times 4, 9 times 7, 9 times 9, with all the carrying as you go through. And then the second line is actually 40 times 974. So I need to put a 0 there to hold the place, because I'm starting here. I'm shifted over one place, so I put the 0 there to hold that gap. So I do 4 times 4, 4 times 7, 4 times 9, and the answer goes in with all the associated carrying. You then need to add these two together, and you get the same digits you've had in the other methods. We then have to put the decimal point back in. So we've got 3 decimal places in our question. So we must have 1, 2, 3 decimal places in our answer. So 3 different methods there. Bit of a whistle-stop tour. There will be another video focusing on each method at some point.